Good morning, Casey Baseflug, Operations Section Chief for Alaska Incident Management Team. Operational briefing for November 1st, 2020 for the Creek Fire. Starting up on the north end, we got active fire up in here. We're monitoring that. It's up in a lot of the rocks, but we're still keeping a presence up there as far as air, and I'm keeping a really good eye on this and checking movement of it. It has not moved in quite some time, but we're still keeping an eye on that up in there. Moving down along the western portion of the fire from the north down. Suppression repair is going on in the majority of this country up in here. Everything's looking really good. A lot of moving parts, a lot of equipment out in there doing some suppression repair. We did have one spot fire north of Bass Lake. We had folks in there yesterday. They mopped it up, put some line around it, secured it. It's looking really good. We're going to continue with that. There's going to be a crew in there today with some aviation support, really knocking that down and putting that thing to bed and making sure that everything out in this country north of Bass Lake is looking really good, and monitoring that as well for any additional spots out there. But we haven't seen anything out there from the fire's edge itself. Moving down along the south portion of the fire, fire's looking really good. Haven't had any issues with any fire activity down there. Continuing with suppression repair. Again, a lot of moving parts on the west side, moving along around Shaver Lake and Huntington Lake with the suppression repair. So when you're out there, be very careful. There's a lot of equipment on the roads. There's a lot of folks out there. With these roads out there, they're really narrow, and some of the equipment is really long, and so just be really careful when you're driving out there. Keep speeds down. Moving up around on the east side to the north, again, suppression repair up to Huntington Lake, and then north of Huntington Lake. Doing some a lot of mop up, securing the fire's edge. Everything's looking really, really good up in there. Hazard tree removal, so again, when you're out there, just be very careful. Moving up towards Thomas Edison Lake. As you probably have seen, there is some active fire out in here. We have crews spiked out around Thomas Edison Lake, securing. Put some hose lay in here, mopping this up by 2 days, and they should have this thing really secured back in here. We're monitoring it from air, we're monitoring it from the ground, keeping a really good eye on it. Moving all the way up through this country up in here towards Pond Lily, Middle Fork of San Joaquin River drainage that comes down into here. Everything's looking good. There is still fire activity out in here. We're monitoring all this stuff out in here for growth. There's a lot of rock, a lot of country, but there is some areas where it still can move, and we are securing that and making sure that we have an eye on the back door here, and making sure that nothing's going to pooch out and move with any weather event. It's still really dry out there, so we're keeping a heads up on everything that's going on. Moving more northerly. Past Pond Lily Lake, again, we're keeping a really good eye on here. We have firefighters that are in here keeping an eye on this fire that's active in here. It's putting some smoke up, very minimal activity as well, but we're keeping an eye on that and finding opportunities to tie it in. We have some hand line in to tie it in if we need to, and so we're not removing anybody from this area. We're keeping a really good eye on it, and coming up with plans for if fire does want to move on us out here, which it hasn't, but we're not forgetting about this stuff out in here.